Good morning, Floyd County High School. I'm Olivia Jones.
And I'm Rachel Hylton.
And you're watching the Buffalo Rewind.
Rewind.
And now it's time for our quick sports recap.
The varsity baseball team played Martinsville, Bassett, and Patrick County last week.
And they took down Martinsville with a win of 16-0. And this week, they'll be playing Martinsville, Patrick, and Radford.
And this week, the varsity softball team will also be playing against Patrick, Martinsville, and Radford with home games on Wednesday and Thursday.
Good luck to all of our teams in their upcoming games.
Last week, FBLA went to compete in the state conference.
And the results from that event will be out on next week's episode.
Now we're going to head out with Kaiden and Jacob with the
weather.
Hi guys, I'm Kaiden Chaffin.
And I'm Jacob Dishon, and welcome back to the BWC.
This week we're going to be staying in the mid-60s all week.
And we're going to have some moderate wind speeds with partly cloudy weather all week.
Hey Jacob, what does everyone listen to but no one believes?
I don't know.
The weather reporter. Ha!
Thanks, Kaiden. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Kaiden and Jacob. Now, Rachel, I think it's time for this week's piece of useless advice.
Do you want to know how to keep a cake moist?
Yeah, how do you?
Just eat it all in one sitting. And that's this week's piece of useless advice.
Thanks, Rachel. And now we're going to head back down to the kitchen for another week of... Cooking with Kayla.
Hi guys, welcome back to Cooking with Kayla. Today we are making a chocolate chip cake. So the ingredients you are gonna need are some vegetable oil, sour cream, a cake box mix, some eggs, chocolate chips, pudding mix, a bowl to mix your stuff in, and a spoon to mix it with, and you need a cake pan. So first, we're gonna start out with a cup of sour cream. Then a half a cup of oil. 4 eggs. Mix that together. And now we're gonna add our dry ingredients. So take your box mix, pour it all in there. Next, your pudding mix. And now half a bag of chocolate chips. Mix it all up. Once you're done mixing, you want to preheat your oven to 350, and you're going to want to grease your pan. Now pour your batter. I'm struggling. And now we're gonna put it in the oven for about 50 minutes.
Rachel, I haven't even introduced it yet. I just it looks amazing.
And you know what we'll have to do?
What?
To keep it moist, we're going to have to eat it all right now.
You better dig in. This is a good cake.
We've got a lot of cake to eat, so we'll be right back after this short break.
We want to remember Miss Tompkins' class. You can order your yearbook today at jostens.com/yearbooks, and they are currently $70.
The results of last week's polls are in.
We asked you, what is your favorite genre of music? And the most popular is...
Rap! We love rap. Yeah, we do. We're gonna rap it.
How about you?
Welcome to the stage for our teacher versus teacher
rap battle! And this week we have Mrs. Bearden versus versus Mrs. Hoffman.
Shapes on my mind, shapes on my brain. Everywhere I look, it's driving me insane.
English is better than math, and I'll tell you why. Well, first, we don't have to know about pi, but for real, we teach students to read and write. Reading opens a mind, writing opens a heart, and that's why I side with language arts.
Everywhere I go, everything I do, I only see triangles, triangles chasing after me.
This year, I'll tell you what I did for a lesson. I dressed up like Poe. It really engaged the students, oh, wouldn't you know? Even though literature doesn't always just teach the good, it teaches all, so that maybe students will one day feel like the world isn't so small.
Angle side side, you know who you are. Angle side side, you drive me to the bars.
And this week's poll is going to be a little different than our other polls because we're going to be asking you guys a series of questions that we'll be using on next week's episode.
That wraps up today's show.
So make sure to join us on next week's episode of Buffalo Rewind, Rewind, Buffalo Rewind, Rewind. Now, Rachel, I think it's time for this week's piece of useless advice on.
Not expecting that. I'm scared.
What did the teacher for you?
That's wiggity wiggity whack.